Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Evilwest Evil difficulty video walkthrough. This is chapter 15, the Heist, and at the very start of this level, the humans, if they want to, can one-frame you, which I think is really fun. Oh, additionally, did you see that? The guy in the background on the Gatling gun was shooting me after the fight was technically over. The Gatling gun guy is the worst enemy in the game because he doesn't work. You cannot hurt him until he has a weak point. It's just bad. They need to change that monster. It's not good. But I don't want to complain about it, guys, because I've complained about enough things for me to shit on the Gatling gun for another video. I love this level. I love moving through western towns. I think western towns look so iconic and so interesting, and video games doesn't represent them enough. It reminds me of Red Dead Revolver, which is my favourite of the Red Deads, and a wonderful game if you never played it. And this is just like that, you know, it's got that western feel. This is what we want, and of course this is more gothic western, gothic horror western. But it's nice to have the reminders of where we're based, which is this wonderful time in American history. I say wonderful time. This is kind of a dark time for true American history because the wonderful subjugating invaders came and destroyed your actual history. Sorry about that, yeah. I am unfortunately the descendant of an empire that decided to come over there and say, "Oi! Funny people who are different to me, you should not do what you are currently doing, and you should immediately start talking about my favourite friend, Mr. Jesus." And I suppose the rest is history. But this is a video game, and we have a bunch of these elite guys to beat up. And we're going to do that with all these wonderful tools, because right now, ladies and gentlemen, you have everything. You have all the weapons, you have a nice bunch of upgrades. You are capable of being an absolute death-dealing machine right now, and nothing can stand a chance when you play correctly, because Jesse is that capable. However, it doesn't come for free unless you do Zap. Zap is free as fuck, but everything else takes a little bit of your application, and hopefully you've got good enough at the game now that you're ready for the challenges that await us. This is a cool fight, this one too. I really like that. That one is one of those fights where when you first start doing it, you think, well, there's a lot of enemies here and they're quite beefy, but you realise that it's actually very well balanced. And not every fight in the game is like that, sadly, but this one is. And now we've got more Gatling gun men being silly. And I'm trying to jump off this beam here, but the detection's not liking me today. This is one of those levels that's going to be quite simple to no damage, but it has two problems in it. The first one is Gatling gun men, and the second one is Gatling gun men. And that's the only reason you're going to have any issue here. And like right now, there's a Gatling gun man behind these monsters, and he's going to shoot me in a moment. Like, it's just... I just think the person that designed his placing and how he works is evil. They don't like the player. This is not a problem to solve. This is a terrible choice and a bad design. And I look forward to seeing people defend it too, because one thing I've noticed on the internet is when you say something is bad and inferior, there's always that one person be like, well, I think it's great because of X. And sometimes that person is very well informed and they make a great argument, but mostly it's just some fuckstick that says you don't play very well, you should have done X, Y, Z, and then you click on footage of their gameplay and they're playing on normal, trading hits with every monster in the room. And I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing more frustrating than having somebody undermine what you're doing, which is whatever it is, and then you see them doing the same game as you, and they're not even 1/10 of the ability that you are. I wonder why those people do that. Do you think that's delusion? Do you think that's like the illusion of self-importance and standing in the world? Like, one thing I've learnt about good players on YouTube is they're generally humble. The ones who aren't humble are dickheads. And there's few of those I bump into. I've only really met two that I can think of by name. One of them is everybody's favourite fraudster, Horisto. And the other one is a DevilNeverCry player who broke all the world records on the levels after Godfather Dictator had stopped doing that for 10 years. So I kind of think that the value of that achievement is diminished because you're doing it at a time where all the competition has left. You know? Like, if you want to be impressive in DevilNeverCry 4 when it comes to score running that game, you need to beat the best in the world when they were active. And if you were born too late to do that, sadly, you can never call yourself the best. Because you'll never know, you know? It's like when we talk about the best football player in the world, and people say things like Messi. Because Messi is unbelievable. I don't even know modern football, and I know how unbelievable he is. But then you ask questions, don't you? Was Messi better than Pele? Was Messi better than Maradona? Like, it becomes really easy to say something like, oh, Messi's the best player in the world. Was he better than Zinedine Zidane? I mean, we could talk about this for hours because everyone's got a favourite footballer and everybody thinks somebody did X and did Y. But when we really get down to it, we'll never truly know because it's so hard to tell. It's so hard to test. The cool thing about video games and some things is whoever has the highest score in that moment in time is the best. The problem is, if we're going to do all time, that's when things get difficult. That's when it gets a lot more difficult, right? So I look at something along the lines of, like for instance, Shinobia. If you know that name, you know that name. Shinobia was kind of the guy who laid the foundation for what a lot of people do on YouTube and did on YouTube for many years. Like, I used to watch Shinobia videos before I made videos, and I used to look up to that guy and think, wow, this dude's a really good player. Especially for his God of War stuff. If you've never seen Shinobia's God of War stuff, it's legendary for me. He hasn't been around for a very long time. I talk about him every so often because I've got a good memory and I think people who laid the groundwork should be mentioned personally. Like, to me, he will always be the best God of War player. He might not technically be the best, he might not be the person with the most impressive runs and things, but he was that guy in my memory. Like, there's a few God of War players you could mention that have done some phenomenal things in those games. But he will always be my favourite and always be the best to me. And I never got to interact with him because he went off to become a family man and whatnot. But I would imagine that if I did talk to him, I think he'd be humble. And going back to the tangent of, you know, I've only really met 2 dickheads in the communities when it comes to the ego. Like, you could say 3 dickheads, I'm the 3rd one. But a lot of my ego stems from what I've done. You know, it stems from things you can verify and prove. And I think you should be confident in things you've done because you can prove that you've done them, you know? But there's one universal truth on YouTube, and that is anybody that tries to tell you that they've done something impressive is a bad player. I don't know anybody who says that they're good at games on YouTube who's actually good at games. I don't. I've never seen it. Every single person who says, oh, I'm right good at this game, I'm better than you at this game, I'm X, I'm Y, I'm Z, they're never good. They're always bad. It's the guy who doesn't say that you want to be scared of. When you ask somebody if they're good at something and they say, I'm okay, I'm alright, there's the fucking demon. That right there is a dangerous dude. That's the one you want to watch. Because they're always the people that when you click on their channel, they have the most ridiculous stuff. And the reason I think that is because when you do something really good on a game and when you get very good at a game, your gameplay speaks for itself, so you no longer need to compensate. And there's a lot of channels like that. I could list these channels for days. There are amazing channels you've never heard of and you'll never find because YouTube doesn't want you to. But they're amazing players. And the one thing a lot of them have in common is either a confidence in their skill that doesn't, you know, leach into this area of being arrogant, and humility. Because when you do something very difficult, it teaches you humility because you have to be humble. Because you lose way more than you win. Because you have to lose that much to get to the win. Speaking of losing, this is the fight where I got hit by that really bad hitbox. This is the worst checkpoint in the game, this fight, because you have to do a glamour puzzle before you do it. And the fight itself is not difficult to pass, but it's quite tricky to no damage thanks to some factors. And I still like this level. This is one of my favourite levels. It's a fun one. But I think the checkpoint here was designed by somebody that wants me to physically accost them in public. But all we have to do now is work our way through this guy and have a good bang on him. I'm already thinking of challenge runs for this game as well. You know, shit like no upgrade, shit like no zapper. Like, really limiting what you can use. Because no upgrades on this game is absolutely doable, but it's going to be difficult because all your damage is going to be lower, and your damage is already low. So it makes me think that maybe no upgrades hard would be better. Like, if you could make hard mode as aggressive as evil mode, Like, if I could change the HP thresholds of evil mode, I would come up with an ultimate evil, like, challenge run for everybody to try. I've got some really good ideas, man. And I know that sounds arrogant as fuck, but I think they're good, so I'm going to call them good ideas. You can think they're shit, that's fine. But I've got some cool ideas with this game for things to work in a specific way to make it a bit more enjoyable for people that share my beliefs. But this is the glamour puzzle. And I tell a lie, it's not that other fight that's got a glamour puzzle before it. Is it this one? I think it might be this one, actually. I think I might have made a mistake there, guys. The checkpoint is, I think, after this. I like this puzzle as well. I like this level. The fact this isn't a proper bank robbery makes me sad, though. Can you imagine doing a bank robbery, an actual heist in this game, going into the vault, opening all the doors and stealing the bags of gold, and there being so many bags of gold and your entire screen is filled with coins and jingling noises? Oh my god, I wanted to do that so much. Right, this is the bad checkpoint, this one here. Look how good this gun is, guys. It's literally stun-locking a stalker. So yeah, previous fight absolutely fine. This fight not. This fight's lame. Because it's a bunch of big dudes and it's a really shitty checkpoint. And we've got a higher vampire who we're going to use here to get our battery back if we shoot his weak point. But be really careful of these guys. When they throw their weapon, the amount of times I've been hit off camera by them throwing their weapon is quite a lot. So we're just going to do... I think we're going to take it slow. There it is. That's the throw right there. Wait for the vampire. That's the projectile. Make sure you don't get hit by... There's the jump. Make sure you go and get away from that. And then now he should heal. He's either going to jump or he's going to heal, depending on where we are. What does he do? Is that projectile? Jump. He did the jump. So, getting chased by these angry dudes. There we go. He's healing. As soon as that happens, he drops the energy. He's probably going to do a projectile now. There it is. And now he's going to jump. He just taunted. There's the jump. See it? Now we go and pick up his energy and we wait for him to heal again. We do this 3 times. We can either kill all the ads or we can aim for the higher vampire. And that's all you do, guys. Really, really easy, safe way of guaranteeing that you have the resources to take him on. You can even fight him a bit here if you want to. You could go up to him and parry him and stuff, but the parry on him is kind of tricky because the timing's weird. But again, what is he doing? Jump. There's the jump. Set these guys on fire, shoot him a little bit. Now he's going to fire the projectile. There it is. Boom, projectile. Now he's going to either heal or jump, and he healed. So now we can get our battery again. Boom, easy life. And now he's going to attack. He might attack again here. Set him on fire a little bit. What is he doing? Watch out for the jump. He likes to jump at this range. He did the projectile. Now he's jumping. Boom, easy life. Kill some of these guys. Do some damage on him. And now he's healing again, and this is the one that will enable us to do some damage. So when you go towards him here, he likes to punch really quickly as well, so just be careful of his cheeky punch. That's his back jump. That's quite rare, that. I like that move. So we now have the ability to do the super mode, but I'm holding off, it seems, just to kind of show you a little bit more of this kiting to dwindle down the opponents. There we go again, he's healing again. Stop that. Boom. Oh wow, I need to reload. There you go, reloaded. You can parry these enemies and shut them down and kick them and things if you want to, but I'm playing it safe. The checkpoint's really bad. Whenever checkpoints are bad, guys, I don't do anything risky because I'm not a patient player. I never have been. All the patient things I've done through gritted teeth. Like, he's so done. Crossbow's going to kill him. And there we go. We'll do the execution, potentially. Oh, no, there's a projector. And am I going to... Here we go. Time to hit this guy. Do a lot of damage. When he comes out of this, he will always do either the grab or the punch. He loves doing the fast punch or the grab. The problem is it's a bit of a mix-up. So you either parry it, dodge, or you kick it. The safest option is to just dodge away, and then you just essentially option select the both. I don't know why I said that weird. Option select, not option select. Like some kind of slurring Sean Connery. And then you just beat him up. There's his grab. There's a weird kick. There's me, like, not locking on correctly because the game's going weird. And that's the end of the fight. That is a tough fight, that, guys. It doesn't look like much. But because that checkpoint's always looming, you're never going to play that like you want to. Unless they fix it. And I would love to, like, get, like, a Google document and put in all the, like, shitty checkpoints and all the places where I think things should work differently and send it to the devs. But I sent my video to the devs on Twitter asking what that weird thing that happened on my final boss video was with my HP. Not only did they not respond, they didn't like it, they didn't retweet it, they just fucking ignored it. Can you imagine? And don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not important, I'm not a big name, nobody knows me, nobody cares, but you release a game where you have a difficulty that says this should not be your first playthrough, and someone beats it on their first playthrough, not only do they beat it, but they do no damage, and you don't even go, that's cool, dude. That's fucking weak, right? That's weak sauce. I'm not asking for a pat on the back. I've been waiting 10 years for a pat on the back, and it never comes, you know? I'm just saying, if I was the dev and somebody sent a video of them no damaging my boss in like the week of release, on the hardest difficulty, I would have gone, damn, dude, that's cool. And who knows, maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they don't work on Fridays. I don't know. But it's some lame bullshit's what that is. Thank you for watching. You take care now.